Hi class, welcome back. We're dealing with part of the sender experience today, and I'm going to break this into two parts. The first one will be to talk about the power of a speaker and your credibility, your charisma, those C words that make you a powerful speaker and make you more professional. So I'm going to talk about the concept of ethos, and we'll look at competence, integrity, attractiveness, and power as to what gives you that likability and that the audience really wants to listen to you and believe what you say. So let's start with ethos, which is a word. It's charisma. It's your cred. You know, it's what you bring with you to the speaking setting. Maybe you're an expert in this or in that or whatever field it might be. Many of you have different majors, so that would be awesome to hear your experience. And let's say maybe you're in the one of the justice, what is that called, criminal justice major or something. There are some fascinating issues that can come out of that. So I will be, for your speeches, designing the parameters as to what you are to be doing for them, whether it's inform or persuade. And then you have your creative freedom to work within that and to fit into the outline. So let's look at what you need to aspire to, a high level of ethos. What makes you a powerful speaker? So the first thing we'll look at is competence. What goes into competence? Knowledge of the topic. Have you done your research? We know people who are blowing smoke that don't know what they're talking about, and we're like, just be quiet. We don't even want to listen to you because you're full of it. So that's the BS factor. It's called learn the crop detector. There's a lot of it out there. You know that from the internet. So knowledge of the topic. And when you're doing your introduction, you want to tell us why you are qualified to speak on the topic. So let's say you're going to teach us some life-saving skills, which would be important. There's a lot of drownings, even in Fargo-Moorhead. Maybe you will tell us that you're trained by the YMCA as a lifeguard. You have extensive CPR training. You have river rescue training, whatever it might be. But somewhere in the outline, you'll want to tell us, this is why I'm qualified to speak about this. Don't be Minnesota nice. Tell us why you're good at this. All right? So whatever it is, you've researched something for a paper in science, maybe with autism, something like that, and you're ready to share the information that you have to benefit us. So knowledge of the topic. Bring it out pretty quickly. It might be a surprise ending, but mostly it's more effective in the beginning. So what is the relevance of your training and education? Bring that with you, what you have accomplished so far. This is where you can talk about your personal experiences. This has happened to you. A person has a specific ailment that they want to share with us, and to maybe watch out for that if they might have that. I think about Lyme's disease and some terrible things that are going on with that, with this explosion of ticks and so forth, and people who are suffering from Lyme's. And if they share that with you, you can use personal stories. That is wonderful. If it's a sad story, be careful that you're ready to talk about it, because you don't want to be captured by emotion. It's happened to me a couple times. It just takes me off guard. And so be sure that you're ready to speak about this to others and keep a kind of sense of self about that. Some things can be sad and you might stop for a moment, but try not to let it overcome you. That would be the one thing. About your personal stories, use them wisely, and that will be beneficial for the audience. When you borrow outside sources and you cite other people, that's called borrowing ethos. You're borrowing their street cred to say, Mayo Clinic says this about Lyme's disease. They're close to a vaccine. You know, we need to fund research if it's persuasion, and so on and so forth. So that's called borrowing ethos from other people, all right? So you do that to show your competence. So knowledge of the topic would be competence, just reviewing relevance of your own training or education, your personal experience. You can use personal stories, and then borrow ethos. Your first speech, that's a big speech, the how-to, I think you need 2 outside sources. So you can bring in other people, which can be an interview of a person as well. The second, I'm jumped down here to integrity. And this is, not only do you want to appear competent, but you also want to give an honest and dependable, like this is someone I can trust. Right?